He used to say fatigue was just life reminding him to slow down. But that morning, when the pain felt different, something inside whispered that everything was about to change. If you believe every story like this deserves to be heard, please stay, listen, and share your heart with us. Mark was always the strong one, the man who fixed broken doors and carried heavy boxes without a sound. He was the kind of father who laughed loudly and hugged softly, and he believed that nothing could break him. But over the last few months, the laughter grew quiet. The tired days turned into tired weeks and then into restless nights. He thought it was just age or maybe stress. He skipped the doctor visits, took pain pills, and told everyone he was fine, but his wife, Lisa, saw the change. She saw how he held his stomach when he thought no one was watching and how he winced when he got out of bed. The kids noticed too, whispering that Dad did not smile as much anymore. One evening, Lisa sat beside him and said in a voice as gentle as rain that it was time to stop pretending. He looked at her, eyes tired, and finally nodded. The next morning, they drove to the hospital holding hands in silent fear. Mark kept saying it would be nothing, just some tests, maybe a small infection. But deep down, he felt a chill in his bones, a warning he could not ignore. He remembered all the times he said he was too busy to care for himself. Now all he wanted was one normal day without pain, without worry, just laughter again. He wondered if he had waited too long, if the signs had been speaking to him all along. At the hospital, everything felt slow, like time was walking on thin ice. Mark sat in a cold room with bright lights, waiting for answers he did not want to hear. Nurses moved around with soft voices, drawing blood, asking questions, offering blankets. He felt small, like a child lost in a place too big. Lisa sat close to him, holding his shaking hand, whispering that they would face whatever came together. Days passed in a blur of tests, scans, and long hallways. Mark kept trying to smile, to make jokes, but his eyes could not hide the fear anymore. He saw the worry on the faces of the doctors, the way they avoided his gaze. One evening, a doctor walked in holding a folder too carefully, like it carried something heavy. He asked them to sit. Mark felt his heart racing, a harsh drum in his chest. The doctor spoke slowly, with sad eyes, saying words that felt sharp. He said there were shadows in places they did not expect. He said it had spread. He said it was not just one spot, but many. Mark blinked, confused. Spread where? The doctor listed organs with names that sounded distant, like places on a map he had never visited. Mark stared at his own hands and felt like they did not belong to him. Lisa began to cry, soft at first, then shaking. The room suddenly felt colder and quieter. The doctor took a deep breath and looked right at Mark as if searching for the right words. Then he said very gently that it was stage 4. The words floated in the air like frozen rain, cold and heavy. Mark felt the air leave his chest, but he could not speak. The doctor continued, explaining that the cancer had spread too far, that it had wrapped itself around places they could not reach. He said it was inoperable. Lisa covered her mouth, tears spilling. Mark sat still, feeling like the world had tilted. Inoperable. The word felt like a door closing. He remembered birthdays, backyard barbecues, late-night talks with his kids. He wondered if he would see another summer or watch his children grow. The doctor spoke of treatments, of hope, of fighting. But all Mark heard was the echo of those two words forming a storm inside his heart. He felt fear and a strange calm together. That night, Mark sat by the window, watching the streetlights flicker like tiny stars. The house was quiet, but his mind was full of voices. He thought about time, about how it slips away when you are not looking. He was scared, but he was not alone. Lisa sat beside him, leaning her head on his shoulder, and for a moment everything felt truly still. He did not know what the future would look like, but he knew life would never be the same. This was not the end. It was a new beginning, a harder one, but still his. For more emotional updates, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.